Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
What's going on, Mets fans? And before we get into this, I need you to understand something. What I'm about to share with you isn't some hot take from a random blogger. This isn't me stirring up drama for clicks. This is Michael Kay, one of the most respected and connected voices in New York sports media, delivering a brutal reality check about David Stearns and the direction of this franchise. If you're already frustrated with how this offseason has gone, hit that like button right now, because what Kay said should wake up every single person who thought David Stearns was going to be the savior of this organization. Michael Kay went on his show and basically told Mets fans to lower their expectations. He said that people need to understand David Stearns is not going to operate the way they think he should. He's not going to be flashy. He's not going to be aggressive in free agency. He's not going to use Steve Cohen's money the way fans expected it to be used. And Kay delivered this message not as criticism, but as a warning. He was essentially saying, this is who Stearns is, this is how he operates, and if you're expecting something different, you're going to be disappointed. Now, let me tell you why this matters. Michael Kay doesn't just throw things out there randomly. The guy has been covering New York baseball for decades. He has connections throughout the industry. He talks to agents, front office people, players. When he goes on air and delivers a message like this, it's because he knows something. He's heard things. He understands how Stearns thinks and operates. And what he's telling us is that everything we've seen this offseason, all the conservative decisions, all the players walking away, all the frustration, that's not going to change. This is who David Stearns is. Think about what that means. Michael Kay is preparing Mets fans for more of the same, more conservative off seasons, more watching star players leave, more acting like a small market team, despite having the richest owner in baseball. He's essentially confirming that David Stearns has no intention of adapting to the New York market or taking advantage of Steve Cohen's resources. And Kay is telling us this not because he thinks it's good, but because he wants fans to understand the reality of the situation so they stop being surprised every time Stearns makes another baffling decision. Let's break down exactly what Kay said and why it's so damning. He talked about how Stearns is methodical, how he's careful, how he doesn't make impulsive moves, and on the surface, those sound like positive qualities. Who doesn't want a methodical, careful general manager? But in the context of the New York Mets, with Steve Cohen as the owner, those qualities become liabilities, because being methodical means you're slow. Being careful means you're timid. Not making impulsive moves means you're watching other teams sign the players you should be signing, while you're still analyzing and deliberating and trying to find some perfect deal that doesn't exist. Kay also pointed out that Stearns comes from Milwaukee, where he had to operate with budget constraints. And again, this sounds like it's setting up a defense of Stearns. Like Kay is saying, hey, give the guy a break. He's used to working with limited resources, but that's exactly the problem. The Mets don't have limited resources. Steve Cohen has more money than God. The entire advantage of having Cohen as your owner is that you can outspend everyone else. You can be aggressive. You can make moves that other teams can't afford to make, but Stearns can't get out of his own way. He's hardwired to be conservative from his years in Milwaukee, and according to Michael Kay, that's not going to change. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Kay didn't just describe Stearns' approach. He also implied that this disconnect between what fans expect and what Stearns delivers is going to be an ongoing source of frustration. He was basically saying, look, I'm telling you this now so you're not shocked when it keeps happening. Don't expect the Mets to be major players in free agency. Don't expect them to make splashy moves. Don't expect Stearns to operate like the Dodgers or Yankees. Just accept that this is who he is and adjust your expectations accordingly. But here's my question. Why should Mets fans adjust their expectations? Steve Cohen didn't buy this team and promised to spend unlimited money so that fans could adjust their expectations downward. He bought this team to win championships. He's made it clear he's willing to do whatever it takes financially. So why do we need to accept that his president of baseball operations is going to operate like he's working with a limited budget? That makes no sense. That's a fundamental mismatch between ownership and management. And this is what makes Michael Kay's comments so brutal, because what he's really saying, what he's really communicating between the lines is that there's a problem here that's not going away. If Steve Cohen wants one thing, David Stearns is delivering something completely different. And according to Kay, Stearns has no intention of changing his approach. So either Cohen is going to have to accept that his baseball operations are being run counter to his vision, or he's going to have to make a change. There's no middle ground here. Let's talk about what this means for the future. If Michael Kay is right, and I have no reason to think he's wrong, the Mets are going to continue operating this way for as long as Stearns is in charge. That means more conservative off seasons. That means more watching players leave without fighting for them. That means more frustration from a fan base that expects their team to use its financial advantages. And at some point, that's going to come to a head because Steve Cohen is not going to tolerate losing forever. He's not going to accept finishing in third place in the division year after year while his president of baseball operations refuses to be aggressive. Cohen is a competitor. He wants to win. And when he realizes that the person he hired to build a championship roster is fundamentally incapable of doing so because of his small market mentality, he's going to make a change. Michael Kay might not have said it explicitly, but that's the logical conclusion of everything he laid out. And here's what frustrates me most about this situation. It was avoidable. Steve Cohen could have hired someone who already knew how to operate in a big market. He could have found an executive who understood New York's expectations and pressure. He could have brought in someone who was excited about having unlimited resources and ready to use them aggressively. Instead, he hired David Stearns, and now Michael Kay is going on air telling fans to lower their expectations because Stearns is never going to be what they need him to be. Think about the message that sends. The most respected broadcaster in New York is essentially saying the Mets hired the wrong person for the job, and everyone just needs to accept it and move on. That's not a vote of confidence. That's not saying give Stearns time to figure it out. That's saying this is a fundamental mismatch that's going to continue causing problems, and fans should prepare themselves for ongoing disappointment. Now, let's connect this back to what we've already seen this offseason. Pete Alonso leaving without an offer, Edwin Diaz going to the Dodgers, Brandon Nimmo getting traded. All of those decisions, all of those disasters, they're consistent with what Michael Kay is describing. Stearns is being methodical and careful and non-impulsive, which in practice means he's letting star players walk while he deliberates and analyzes and tries to find some perfect value play that doesn't exist. And according to Kay, that's going to continue. The Mets are not going to suddenly become aggressive. They're not going to start throwing money at top free agents. They're not going to operate like a big market team with big market resources. They're going to keep being conservative and methodical and careful, which means they're going to keep losing players they should be keeping and missing out on players they should be signing. So here's what I want to know from you. After hearing what Michael Kay said, after understanding that this is who David Stearns is and he's not going to change, do you still have faith in this front office? Do you think Stearns can win a championship operating this way? Or do you think Steve Cohen made a massive mistake hiring him, and it's only a matter of time before that becomes undeniable? Because from where I'm sitting, Michael Kay just confirmed every concern I've had about David Stearns. He confirmed that the conservative approach we've seen isn't a one-time thing. It's who Stearns is. He confirmed that the disconnect between Cohen's vision and Stearns' execution is real and significant. And he confirmed that unless something changes, unless Cohen steps in and either forces Stearns to adapt or replaces him entirely, this is what Mets fans should expect going forward. And that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to have the richest owner in baseball and operate like you're the Tampa Bay Rays. It's unacceptable to let franchise players walk while you're being methodical and careful. It's unacceptable to have Michael Kay preparing fans for ongoing disappointment because your front office refuses to take advantage of the resources they have. The Mets are wasting Steve Cohen's money by not spending it. They're wasting his willingness to invest in winning by being too conservative to actually capitalize on it. And Michael Kay just went on air and told everyone that's not going to change under David Stearns. That should be setting off alarm bells throughout the organization. That should be making Steve Cohen question whether he has the right person in charge, because if the most respected voice in New York media is delivering a reality check this brutal, the reality must be pretty bad. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you think Kay is right about Stearns. Tell me if you're okay with adjusting your expectations downward, or if you think Cohen needs to make a change. Subscribe for more honest content about what's really happening with this organization, and I'll see you in the next video where we continue exposing the dysfunction at the top of this franchise.